Welcome into the video and to the channel, where today I'm going to be talking about the LG C2 that you're looking at on the screen right now. And I want to talk about a topic that in general overall for a prospective TV buyer is a concern when it comes to OLED technology, and that's the ability for the OLED to get bright enough for your viewing environment. So for example, if you're going to be putting your OLED TV in a naturally bright room with a lot of windows, you're going to be watching content during the day, things like that, and you're concerned that the TV won't be able to get bright enough, say like an LED TV, I'm going to walk you through some settings to try out to help get your OLED TV bright enough for your viewing environment. So just to give you an idea of this room setup, I have one window that's off to the left. The blinds are currently drawn on it. It's the middle of the afternoon, so it's pretty much the brightest this room can be, especially with natural lighting. I also have an overhead light on as well, the central lighting. So I pretty much have this room as bright as I can possibly get it, just so you have a frame of reference for how the TV looks for within the settings that I have as far as this room's natural lighting. So let's go ahead and dive in here. I'm going to press and hold that settings button as usual. And the first thing you're going to notice is the current TV's mode is this auto power save. And the reason why it's here is because more than likely, if you've just bought your LG C2, this is the mode that it's probably going to be in out of the box. So just wanted you to see, already have it on power save. We're going to do this from scratch. So if you're looking for some settings to try out and your main concern is brightness and the natural lighting in your room and having the TV be bright enough for daytime viewing, you can see here you have a whole list of different picture modes here. Okay, so what I recommend doing is starting with this one right here, which is called ISF Expert Bright Space / Daytime. So we're going to start there. And you can see right away that the pictures, image quality or colors, all of that stuff has changed already. So we're going to go in here, we're going to take a look at aspect ratio, just have this on original. Let's go into advanced settings and let's go to brightness, because that's your main concern anyway, right? You can see here out of the box, it comes with pixel brightness 80, contrast 100, black level 50, dynamic contrast is off, peak brightness is off, gamma's at 2.2, and your video range is auto. So we're going to make some changes here. First thing we're going to do is, because brightness is a primary concern for you as far as this picture mode, we're going to go ahead and turn this up to 100. And I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but it didn't make a tremendous difference in person by moving this one to 100, but in combination with these other changes, it will make an overall difference. So next, contrast, we're going to leave it 100, black level 50. The next one we're going to manipulate is this dynamic contrast, and I'm going to go through each of these and you'll be able to see on camera, hopefully, the changes it makes. You can see it's off. Let's go ahead and click low. Okay, nothing going on. Medium, okay. Now that's the first time I could see a jump in the clouds here. It got noticeably brighter. And high, it didn't make the overall image much brighter. So my recommendation would be to consider trying medium right here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Next, we're going to take a look at peak brightness. It's set to off. Low, I could see the image overall get brighter. Medium, a little bit brighter. And high, it got a lot brighter. So if I change from high to off, it's a considerable difference. But I'm going to mention something here to keep in mind when it comes to this peak brightness. In the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, I'm used to LED TVs, so why don't I go ahead and just jack everything up to high, right? You don't necessarily want to do that because of something called ABL on OLED TVs. And if you're not familiar what that is, it's automatic brightness limiter. When the TV senses that it gets to a certain brightness point, you'll start to get dimming while watching your content. And I don't know about you and how sensitive you are to seeing your overall image right here get more dim as you continue to watch, but I'm highly sensitive to it. So my recommendation would be to consider low or medium to try and combat that ABL. The ABL is going to happen regardless, by the way. That is going to happen. It's just a matter of your sensitivity to it and what you'll notice while watching content. So for peak brightness sake, if you can get away with low, I recommend low. If that's still not good enough, you can see it makes a little difference going to medium. We'll go ahead and leave it on medium. Next, gamma. This is also going to impact the overall image display brightness. So it's currently on 2.2. From the bottom going to the top, it's going to go from dark to brightest. So we'll hit BT 1886. From an accuracy standpoint, this is probably where you want to be. But if all you care about really is just making sure that the TV is bright enough for your room, I would start here at 2.4 and work your way up. I think 2.2 is going to be your best bet, because while 1.9 overall is drastically brighter than say 2.4 or BT 1886, for my taste, it kind of starts to wash the colors out a little too much. So I think 2.2 is kind of set right where it needs to be. But if you have to, you can go to 1.9. I just wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so now that we've taken care of those, that's all you're going to do from this section. Let's go into color. And color depth should be at 50. Leave that. Tint, you're not going to do anything. Color gamut is on native. You can manipulate these a little bit. This is going to impact your color more than the brightness. I'll go ahead and click them for reference. You know, RGB here doesn't do anything really. Dynamic, native. I'm not seeing a big change between changing these, so you know, you're probably okay to leave this on native if you want a little more color saturation. If not, choose auto detect and let the TV decide what looks best for that particular content. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on native. All right, next, fine tune. We're not going to do anything in here. This color adjustment, it's not going to really impact much on the brightness front, so we're not going to do anything there. White balance, color temperature. Now, from an accuracy standpoint, you're going to want to be down here at warm 50. But if you don't really care about that and you're looking for a image that pops and it's a little brighter than what it was out of the box, go ahead and take this on up. And I would, you know, out of the box, it's probably going to start right here at 0. I would say go down little by little until you feel content. So I'm going to go ahead and make this warm 7. I think that looks all right as it continually changes the scrolling screensaver. Okay, so from this particular menu, that's all we're going to do. And from a brightness perspective, that's pretty much all you're going to do. These other ones right here are going to be mostly about the clarity of the image itself, just depending on what type of content you're watching, what level of content. Are you watching SDR? Are you watching 4K? You know, 1080p, 720p, whatever it is. That's where these are going to come into play mainly. But for an overall image brightness perspective, if we're just looking at this image, this room is very bright right now. I think that this is more than adequate when it comes to brightness for daytime content watching. As a matter of fact, I'll switch a couple of inputs here just so you can, picture mode, so you can see what I'm talking about. So remember, we started here. Look at that. I hope that resonates well on camera, because in person, this is way darker than the mode we just created over here at ISF. So I'll just go back and forth a couple of times so you can see. Hopefully that's picking up on camera pretty well. So if you're going to be watching daytime content, you're going to be watching, you know, college football in the afternoon this fall, the NFL, NBA, whatever it is, but you're watching during the day and you have a lot of natural lighting, give a try to this ISF Expert Bright Space and try out the settings that I've just walked you through, and leave me a comment below. Check these settings out and leave me some feedback below on let me know. Do you think it looks good? Do you think it looks awful? I'd be curious to know how you feel about those settings. And that's all I had for this video. If you did enjoy it, consider hitting the like button. Really helps out the channel. And if you're new around here, if you're first time checking out a video, I really appreciate you taking a minute to watch the video. Consider hitting that subscribe button and consider hitting that bell notification so you don't miss one of my uploads. And until the next one.